Hello Zambia, my name is Mutinta Mazoka and I'm a politician. So at the end of this month, we'll be presented with the national budget for the year 2022. I have several things that will be of concern to me, namely health, education, and social protection. Generally, in the past budgets, we've always seen budgets that cater mainly for areas that are urban areas, and our people in the rural areas are often forgotten. So we're hoping that within this budget, we will see a more inclusive budget that caters for everybody in the country as much as possible, while being fiscally, obviously, responsible. Well, unfortunately, we've got external debt that is coming up to about $13 billion. And that's not a small number, especially for a country that has the GDP that we have. What we're hoping for is that while this will not happen overnight, we are hoping that this budget will take into consideration the level of indebtedness that Zambia has to its external funders. And we're hoping that while they are trying to create that balance, Zambian people will not ultimately suffer. The key here is to balance both expenditure to make sure that the lives of Zambians will be better, and on the other hand, make sure that we lift Zambia's status economically out of junk status into a country where, financially speaking, we will have more collaborations in terms of, well, not collaborations per se, but rather financing options will be better for us and will give us better opportunities to borrow money at a cheaper rate. As with all things that are announced, especially in the public sector, expectations will be different, reactions will be different. But what I would appeal to the Zambian people is to realize that we are coming from a very, very difficult place. But what is important is that we must be united in this fight to liberate Zambia economically. There is need to manage our expectations. This is not something that will happen overnight. As I've said already, the debt burden is huge. But we hope that with this budget as it's presented, it will give us an opportunity to work with the Zambian government as a collective force, both government and its people, to support the liberation of our economic circumstances.
Hello, my name is Lorena Chiteva and I'm the founder for KUPES Young Women's Network, a network with an aim to inspire, empower and transform young women from all walks of life for them to be leaders of their own personal development. Basically, we are raising or we're helping to raise transformational leaders. You know, as we go towards and rather wait on the 2022 national budget, we are all very expectant. And we want to see a lot, especially in the women's sector. And so therefore, our expectations are that the budget will take a deliberate step and a stance towards supporting and financing sectors and programs that will obviously benefit young women and girls across the country. And when we say deliberate, we're talking about it being women-specific, it being things and projects and programs that will really be tailored for the woman out there. And we can even go further and probably suggest that in the long run, there will be a desk that will be sitting at the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises, because that is a wish list for us. But most importantly, as our mandate for KUPE is being able to help raise transformation leaders, is also to go further than just being able to empower in terms of money, but also capacity as well as training. So we hope that this budget will really look into raising and creating opportunities and platforms where women, both young and old, are going to be given opportunities to be trained, such that when they're given that money for the empowerment, whichever way the empowerment will come in, they'll be ready. So I'm very expectant and look forward to the budget.
Hi, my name is Alexis Kaluba and I'm the Vice-Chairperson of the Push Women Network, a network that advocates for more women in leadership positions as well as advances the rights of the girl child, particularly with regards to education. The Push Women Network is also the brains behind the Lusaka Business Expo, an expo that was created this year to showcase, small and medium enterprises, as well as to support, local businesses, as well as female-led businesses, and of course, youth empowerment. So our key expectations for the 2022 budget, of course, are aligned to our mandate, which is education. And, with the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have seen that there has been a perpetuation of the disparities between private schools and government schools. And this inequality, of course, has been seen in the provision of online services for private schools, and who are able to continue with learning, while children in the government schools have not been able to do that. So we'd like to see a call on government, to extend ICT platforms at a very affordable and reachable.
My name is Claudia Chansa, and I am the founder of Africana Women. I work with women who are entrepreneurs, who are entrepreneurs in their careers, whether it be in corporate. In the national budget for 2022, my expectations are really around proper accountability in terms of not just classifying, oh, we're going to have a section for women empowerment, but we actually need to hear what are the specific things that we as women need to be empowered in. I think we are tired of just having this generalized classification, but we need to have specific named items on the budget that say, yes, you are addressing, be it cervical cancer, yes, you are addressing women who are single mothers that lost their jobs, that were not able to fend for themselves during this pandemic. We want specific budget items, and that allows for accountability. When you just say that, oh, we're empowering women, it really just allows for the monies to be dispersed in places that are not that we cannot track, that we cannot follow. So I think it's very important in the budget that you are able to say, this is specifically where the funds are going, and these are the reasons why. I also would expect that there is more representation of women in these discussions and in the dispensing of the funds. Unfortunately, as it is, the cabinet does not represent women. This is more than half the population of Zambia, and we are not represented on the cabinet. And that, for me, is unacceptable. That means that when our issues are meant to be addressed, it's not going to be taken as seriously as it should be. So we need the representation in the discussions around how the money of the women empowerment is going to be dispersed. And it shouldn't just be, oh, there's going to be men that are going to be giving away this money to whoever they think is worthy of the money. But I really do hope that the budget really takes into consideration proper accountability and actually lists and names the things that the women need to be empowered in.
Hello, my name is Holland, and I'm a Zambian feminist. I co-founded the organization Sistah Foundation, and we are a feminist grassroots organization that mostly focuses on working with underprivileged children and women who are victims of sexual and gender-based violence. So for this year's budget, I am personally hoping to see that there's more allocation when it comes to gender issues. Mostly in the past, we've seen governments cut off from the budget of the gender ministry, which is no longer in existence. And it's such a worrying point for us as feminists in organizing movements, because we understand no ministry means less budget for the issues that we're fighting for. And some of the issues I am hoping that this budget will focus on is ending period poverty. Zambia has one of the worst cases of period poverty in the world, with young girls dropping out of school because they can't afford sanitary towels, and most of them see themselves ending up in situations where they are victims of sexual exploitation because they have to give in exchange of sex for them to be able to have pads. So we're hoping that this government ensures that they prioritize the safety of young girls and their education by ensuring they have enough pads to be able to sustain themselves. And also, we're also hoping to see, when it comes to sexual and gender-based violence, that there is more money allocation towards the victim support unit, that the fast-track courts are completely funded in a way that justice for victims is immediately recognized, and we end up seeing less cases of gender-based violence. Zambia has one of the worst cases when it comes to gender-based violence in the world, and our cases of the number of cases that make it to court are very few. So we're hoping that this government prioritizes women's safety and ensures that more money allocation goes to ensuring that people are rescued, that prosecutors are properly funded, and that cases are completely prioritized.